Let's go. I really got the feeling today that everything is going my way. Now this is what I'm talking about. Every time I see your smile, it makes me shout. Let's go! Let's go! Nothing's gonna stop us today. Get on the bus or get out the way. We're cruising with the radio on. So turn it up to 10. Here comes our favorite song. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever, wherever you find yourself. Welcome. Hold on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, you can, actually. I was like, hey, what's happening? I couldn't see my mic volume because of OBA's update. Welcome to another episode of IoT Tuesday. I'm yours truly, Samuel Latrani, bringing you awesomeness when it comes to IoT. Today is the last Tuesday of the month of September, and as we always do it, we bring you, technically, it's an Ask Me Anything, session where awesome, thank you, producer is online. Thank you, producer, thank you so much, yeah. For those who don't know, my wife is the producer of the show. Yeah. I mean your points, Kaka. Anyway, so yeah, yes, so it's the last Friday, it's the last Tuesday of the month. Yes, that's what's happening when your wife joins your stream. It's the last Tuesday of the month, okay, and as we do it on almost all my streams, is Ask Me Anything, right? So Ask Me Anything, IoT, AI, let's talk about your project, let's talk about your challenges, and then let's talk about some ideas you have, okay? That's the whole point. But before we get into it, let's go for the montage, and when we are back, we'll get straight into it. Stick and stay with me. Awesome. We're back. Thank you so much for joining. And if this is your first time, please do us a favor, okay? Subscribe to the channel right here. Hit the notification bell so that when I go live, you would get notification. All right. It's just to help grow the channel so we can keep bringing you awesome content, for your relaxation and enjoyment and learning. All right. So today's episode, like I said, it's technically Ask Me Anything session, which means that it's very open. It's not formal. Already my shows are not scripted, but this is much more formal. If you have any questions specifically about IoT, you can drop it, and then we'll talk about it. We'll share it. If you have any project concerns and stuff like that, you can bring it. However, I will be talking about specific things. All right. I'll be talking about specific things, and if that piques your interest, you can just comment or something in the comment box. If you're watching from LinkedIn or YouTube, you can just put a comment there. I'll see it, and then we'll talk about it the more. But before we get into it, a couple of things I wanna talk about. It's just I was trying to pull up the banner for those things, but it looks as if we would have to let's do this. I'll have to go to my browser, and then let's bring it. A couple of things I want to bring, I want to talk about before we get into the meat of things. So first off, I just announcement. Okay. So let's do this. First off, I want to talk about is today is the last day for submission for the Seed Studio and Hackstar, what we call the IoT to Wild contest. So those of you who have actually entered or participated in, the challenge, today is the last day to submit your projects to get a chance to win stuff. So let's go to hackstar.io. And while we are at hackstar.io, I think I can immediately talk about hackstar.io. So today I'm just going to talk about a lot of things in the past month for me that highlight for in the areas of IoT. So first off, let's go and look for where is that. So let's talk about hackstar.io first. Okay. So if you are a maker, if you are into IoT and stuff like that, Hackstar is a place for hobbyist makers who want to share their project, who want to learn how to build stuff, and then also it's a community where there are lots and lots of contests almost all the time. All right. So the Into the Wild was a contest being run by Seed Studio, partnered with Hackstar. All right, and if you're a maker and you want to have the opportunity to have the ability to try some kits and new technology, Hackstar is the place to be. So you sign up and then you look out for context and challenges. Now, officially in Ghana, there are two ambassadors, myself and Daniel Akan. We are the two ambassadors here. But there's been, due to COVID and a couple of things, we've not been able to do any in-person event. But we're planning and working something, and we're going to have the first Hackstar meetup where we're going to bring all makers and stuff, just talk, building and making stuff. But if you are interested, you can go check it out. So like right now, I'm on the Hackstar pages, hackstar.io. I will share the link as part of the resources. So if you go up there, you can see that there is a whole context session, contest. If we go there, you will see all contests from current to previous, and you can see the prices. So for instance, where is this? Yeah, so this I am going to participate as well. So here you can, as you can see, a lot of the contest, right? So here, participation opening until March 2023. This is propel human machine interaction into the future. So what happens is that most of these companies or hardware manufacturers or chip manufacturers come up with product, all right, and then they throw it to the community, maker community, to see what we can build with their tech, all right. So go to hackstar.io, look for any of these things, participate. Now, IoT Into the Wild, this is what I was talking about. Right now, it's run by Seed Studio. Today is the last day to submit. All right, today is the last day, to submit stuff. So if you got the kit or interested, just go check this out. But in the meantime, go check out all the other current event at Hackstar. So that's the first thing, and then and pretty much that's it for Hackstar.io. That's what I want to say for Hackstar. And then obviously I've been talking about Azure, pretty much on IoT, almost all the IoT stuff. There are a lot of fun stuff on Azure IoT for you to try for free. Azure IoT Hub, Azure IoT Central, and a lot more services coming up. Now there is another cloud, which is the Kubitro Cloud, IoT cloud platform. Quite engaging. Also machine to machine stuff. Let's do this. Let me take you there. And then as well, I'm happy to say that, I am officially one of the local experts and also one of the ambassadors here in Ghana for Kubitro Cloud. So if you have any question about Kubitro Cloud, just reach out to me. Very easy, simple to use, connecting especially your IoT or machine data to, sensor data and stuff like that. Kubitro is an awesome platform that you can leverage or use. And like I said, I'll be leaving links into there. Welcome you for joining the show. Today's episode is pretty much Ask Me Anything on IoT. And then also we discuss a couple of things. If you've not subscribed, please try subscribe. I'm just sharing resources on websites and places where you can get cool stuff. All right. So that's it. Now, so these are, great places you can get, and they have some free resource you can try for free. The same way Azure IoT Central, Azure IoT Hub, you can try it for free, build your, proof of concept things out, and then here, blah, 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 yeah, and then have some fun. But I encourage you, all the makers, go hackstar.io. Now you can join competitions as groups. All right. So currently, if you see this one, there is a $3,000 e-gift for first prize. For this one, I think there is about $2,000. Hey, Dara, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, my brother. Drop any questions you have on IoT or the topics you're talking about, and I would be glad to answer them. Project, I know, forgive me, I keep forgetting your name. There's a guy, I think, in Egypt or Tunisia. You sent me your code to review. I have reviewed it. Forgive me. I will be sending you some responses within the week. Stuff just got crazy with work and stuff like that. So please, apologies. Forgive me for that. I'll get back to you on that. I have not forgotten about you. All right. Yeah. And then Sustainable World Challenge. And then there's also the NXP Hovercraft Games. So go check this out. Submit a good idea. And the good thing about these things is that if you submit a good idea, they will send you the kit. And then you can, pretty much build your solution. All right. So that's what we've been talking about so far. Now, the other thing I want to talk about also is the Accra AI, IoT, and do-it-yourself user group. All right, we're going to kick off next month, and I will share the link to the Google Forms for those that are interested. It's going to be our first. It's going to be a practical, hands-on meetup. Yeah, once we share a lot of stuff, but then it's always going to be practical and hands-on. Bring your stuff, your DIY stuff, bring your IoT stuff, and then we all have fun and and then learn. That's what we are going to do now. So today I have a few sensors I want us to talk about, but before we do that, I want to talk about a giveaway that I want to do. So it's been, I think, 2+ or something years since I started this, and I haven't officially started my giveaway yet, but I want to use this opportunity to start that in the month of October. So this is what I'm going to do. So I have a few Arduino boards and Nano boards and some of this Arduino Maker Wi-Fi 100 boards. I have a few of them lying around and a bunch of sensors and Seed Studio stuff. Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to, couple of things first. First, subscribe to the channel. All right. Once you subscribe to the channel, send me a pitch on what you will build if you got one of these things from me. All right. Send me a pitch. First of all, make sure you subscribe to the channel and send me a pitch on what you will build with one of the kits so that I'll send you. And the top 3, no, I can do 5. Yeah. The top 5 pitch producer. Which one is correct? Pitches. Anyway, the top 5, I will send you this or any of the kits, and then a bunch of sensors for you to go play with and build your stuff. And then just share that with us on anyhow you want to share it, and then we'll be glad to do that. So that is the giveaway I want to do for the month of October. So again, subscribe to the channel. Just leave a pitch in any of the comments, especially YouTube or LinkedIn. Just leave a pitch. This is what I want to build. If you can put schematics, that's fine. I mean, if you can put illustrations, that's fine. And I'll pick the top 5 and I'll send you these things, all right, for you to play around with. Awesome. We have a first question from Dara. Dara says that yeah, I know. You see, this is where I try to open it and bring it in. You know what? Let's try this. So let's see. Yeah, that would mean I have to open my YouTube. And anyway, don't worry. So we can see Dara's question. Dara says that my question is, what advice do you have for a young person who loves IoT but lacks financial power to produce boards, sensors to kickstart, more especially in Africa where exchange rate is high. Thank you very much, Dara. I think I want to, you know what? Maybe let me bring this on the screen so that you guys would, so you don't think that I'm just I'm just making this thing up. No, I want to let's see. That's the only thing. Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, I'm just trying to bring I'm trying to bring in the, how do you call it? I'm trying to bring in the question that Dara asked so that I can share it on the screen so you guys can see it. Let's see. So OBS Ninja Chat overlay. So Dara, I'll answer your questions in a bit. Let's see. Yeah, I think we can do this. So let's clear this and tools. Let's open this for him. All right, Ninja Chat. There you go. So as you know, in trying to bring the question up, Dara, this is my answer. So yes, it's true that the exchange rate is quite high. No two ways about that. That is true, and getting started in a lot of these things can be quite tricky. But what I have said, like I mentioned, is that the most important thing is to get started. So, for instance, if you're passionate about IoT, okay, if you're passionate about it, but don't have the funds or something to get to produce boards and sensors and stuff like that, that's why I mentioned communities like Hackstar.io, because if you go to Hackstar.io, for instance, like I mentioned, there are a lot of context, right? There are contests going on where you can participate. You just have to submit an idea, and then if your idea is quite interesting, they will send you the kit wherever you are in the world for you to build and prototype. And then as you're doing that, you're acquiring the skills and gaining a skill like the kit, and also joining a network. The second thing I would advise is that look for a local IoT user group. Okay, so if there is a local user group of people who are also passionate about IoT, trust me, someone in there has a bunch of Arduino kits. Someone in there has a bunch of sensors. Someone in there has a bunch of things that you can all. That's the more reason why we are starting. In conjunction with being a Hackstar ambassador, and also other being a master for other platforms, we're putting together this user group. So it's a user group where you come, we have all the kits, right? Come with your idea, let's build together, let's learn how to connect and do them. So look for this, look for these IoT user groups in your area, all right, or closest to you. That will give you the opportunity to have access to play around with some of these things. But the other thing is also there are sites that allow you to simulate or emulate these things. Okay, so still on Dara's question, let me see if I can get this for you. Let's do this. Actually, see this. I always had the two here. Let me share something with you, Dara, so that you would. But that's an interesting question. Okay. Let's see. Yep. So I can put this here. I'm just trying to, bring things up so that people can also appreciate There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. So let's see. Okay, okay, okay. So let's see. Awesome. So Dara, let me share something with you. Okay, you can also use simulators or emulators. All right, and that is also very 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 valid. All right, so let me put this here. Pum pum pum. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Don't worry. Let's not stress ourselves with this. All right. I'll just read the question. I was trying to bring the questions on, but so Dara, let's do this. Let's go here. Let me show you something. There is this site, circuit. Oh, let's do this. So circuito.io. Let's do this. So Dara, this is one site called circuito.io. Circuito. I'm sounding like some foreign person. Forgive me. So let me move this here, and then let me put this here. Let me get the resources out of the way. So there we go. So Dara, this is one place. All right. First I mentioned spend time. Okay, go check out hackstar.io. All right, go to contest and then read and join, any of the contest that is ongoing. Submit your idea. You're free to get some kits. And then follow Seed Studio as well on most of the social media platforms. Seed also gives away, does a lot of giveaways. All right. Now, this place called Securito.io. Now, this allows you to technically, prototype or build stuff. Okay. So for instance, if I say go to app, okay, agree to the terms. Yeah, the drag and drop component, and then so take a look at this. Okay. So this here, come on, I can zoom in. Okay, yeah, I understand. That's fine. So you see this here, Dara. Now, this site, I don't need to have the physical board, right? I can just go to this site, and I think they have a few boards. So if you look here, if you just right click on this, and then they have their own context thing. So if you click on it and you do swap, you realize that a bunch of boards have shown up here. All right, so I can decide to use a Raspberry Pi. Okay, swap, and now I have a Raspberry Pi. Do you see that? So if what I'm trying to do, I want to build it on a Raspberry Pi, I can choose a Raspberry Pi and then go ahead and start adding components and build without having, the how do you call it? Without having the actual device. Okay, so access to the device should not be a problem. There is one. Why am I forgetting this one? There is actually another site, okay, that allows you to just prototype like how I'm doing, test it, debug it on all online, not on a physical device. I'm trying to remember. Don't worry. I would as we are in during the show, if it comes, I'll just talk about it. So here, as you can see, yes, it's limited, all right, but there's also ESP32. There are Arduino, Mega, and then there are a few of them. Okay, so let's say I don't want Raspberry Pi. I can just click on it again and swap, and then say, hey, you know what? I want the ESP32. Okay, swap. And then you have what? You have an ESP32. Okay, and then once you have it, there you go. Inputs, as you can see, there are a bunch of them here. I can add, where is that? let's say infrared proximity sensor. I can just add it, okay? And the good thing is that as you're adding it, it does the diagram for you, the circuit diagram for you, does the wiring for you, shows you which pins and how to connect it. All right. So if I want to add that, and maybe I want to add yeah, there's a bunch of them there. I mean, it's not everything, but there are a bunch of them. So if I want to add like DHT, a temperature humidity sensor, there you go. I just click and add it, and then it adds it for me, shows me in the schematic as well. All right, and then I can go to code. Okay, now if you want to do connectivity, you can also go to connectivity. No, that's fine. Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay, so this allows us to control only one input. So there are just limitations to it, just some slight limitations. But you can leverage this, okay? Then you can go to the code and look at this. It starts to prepare the code for you, okay? You need to add all these texts, and then look at that. It even creates sample code for you. So this is a go-to if you want to start rapid prototyping and then you don't have the, the kit or the board. This is an easy way to do that. Okay, so let's say if I don't want this, let's say component I'm looking for. So let's say what am I looking for? Let's say proximity. So let's just say input, output. Let's select everything and let me do. Let's do proximity, okay? And which one is this? Ultrasonic. Yeah, there's an ultrasonic proximity sensor here. I can add it to it, all right? And then you see it's added it for me. And if I want to add this as well, it adds it for me. So I think the problem was I had a filter in there. That's why it wasn't changing. All right. So with this, go check out the code. Look at that. All the code is written. I just download this firmware and then, whoops, I can deploy this. All right. Now, like I was saying, this doesn't allow me to test it like the other one I was talking about. I'll try to find it and then I'll share it with you. All right. Aaron, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining. So, what is Aaron asking us? Aaron is saying, does the site have GSM module? Yes, Aaron, we can check that out. I think they have some of it. So let's go and look for it. Aaron, what are you looking for? GSM. Why am I so there you go. There's a GSM module company. Yes, so you can see there's a quad band GPRS GSM SIM 800L, which is very standard. All right, there you go. Where is that? Where did they add it? Okay, I think it's, let me do this. Let me zoom. Actually, let's remove this. Let's remove that. Let's remove this. Okay, and then let's go ahead and add it. It says what? There are no, it says what? There are more available on the controller for remove components and changing. Okay, so let's change the board. So we are having a controller issue. So let's swap this and let's use a Raspberry Pi. Okay, swap. Let's use a Raspberry Pi. Let's go here and then I can do GSM. So you see how intuitive this is. It's even telling me that I don't have enough board on it. It says what? There are no more available pins in. Oh, hold on. Are you sure? Let's see. It says try removing other components or changing the controller. Okay. Let's swap the controller again. Mega. Let me try that. Do you know Mega? You can't tell me there is not space on the Mega. All right. Anyway, so Aaron, does that help? GSM. This is taking like a lot of space. There you go. So Aaron, I hope that answers your question. Let me actually reset Zoom. So Aaron, does this answer your question? I'm trying to see if I can switch it to the other side, but yeah, awesome, Aaron, awesome. Thank you for that. Yeah, so Dara, I hope try looking out for an IoT. Awesome. So try looking out for an IoT community, around you, or go to hackstar.io. Okay, go to hackstar.io, join the contest, follow Seed Studio. You're likely to get it. And like I said, but I have some kits I want to give away. So like I said, subscribe to the channel. Just send me like a comment, a pitch on, hey, this is what I want to create. If you give me this, if you give me the kit, this is what I want to create, and I will, if it's one of the top 5, I'll send you a free kit and you can start building stuff. Now, Seed Studio also has something called Fusion Labs that allows you to create your circuit boards on a mass production. They give you some discount as well. So that's another avenue. If you build something that is solid, you can get some discount there as well. So a lot of things to try out. With that said, now let's go and let's look out for let me go and find this thing, because it's something that debug and simulate IoT devices. So I remember it was this platform. And then also Microsoft also has the Raspberry Pi emulator. Okay, let me look for that for you and share with you. Okay, so we will be able to use that IoT simulator. Okay, so yeah, guys, so like I'm saying, if you have any questions about IoT, today's session is AMA because it's the last Tuesday of the month, and we do AMA anytime is the last Tuesday of the month. We do an Ask Me Anything. Bring your project, bring your topic, let's discuss. And then if I have a couple of things that I want to share, I share it or give it out for people to take a look at. So I'm trying to look for there's a simulator that I saw somewhere that I want to share for you guys, so that just like Dara was saying, you don't necessarily have to have a physical board, okay, to be able to use it. All right. So yeah, if you have any questions, drop it in. But then today I'm going to be talking about proximity sensors. All right. But yeah, one more thing. I'm not done with this. I think, you know what? Let me talk about this. Let me talk about this first before we move on. So it's official. All right. Arduino has released now the release of their IDE 2.0. All right. So the Arduino IDE 2.0 has been released, which was built off of, I think is the is it the Atom, yes, the Atom UI. All right, almost like Visual Studio Code, but what I like about it is there is now IntelliSense, okay, which is when you're typing, you get code completion, you can do debugging, serial plotters. It has a new look to it, some cool appeal to it. So let's see if I can Arduino. Oh, there's one. Yeah, there you go. Arduino ID. I hope I hope I have it right, because I know I have a few. Let's see. Is this the app or the? Hold on. Let's see something. I think it's the IDE. It's not the app. Yes. So I have the IDE. Let's open it, and then you're going to see how that looks like. All right. I know of. Yes. Thank you, Aaron. Yes. Yes, that is what there is Oh my! Thank you. Yeah, that is it. Yeah, it is the Walkwe. Yeah, Walkwe. Yeah, that's true. There's also another one. I don't know if they have moved it actually. And funny enough, I shared it. I shared it on my, on one of my streams, and I completely, yeah. Yeah, actually, let's open this whilst we are waiting for that to. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. This one. There is there is another one actually. There is another one. Um so yeah, this is also cool. As you can see, you can also select, there's almost, in the same principles. You can select the board, select the controllers and components, and then so there again, you have access to this, to work with as well. So let's move this here. Oh gosh, how am I forgetting? You know, um, and then obviously there's IoT Explorer as well, but that's just for if you're working on stuff on the Azure cloud. Where is that? Where is that? I was trying to look for. There is the. Let's see. Yes, using the device simulator. Um. Okay. 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 I think it's not this one. Yeah, but thank you so much, Aaron, for also pointing that out. Yes, that is that is one of the cool ones. All right. Where is that? No, actually, it is the Azure IoT Raspberry Pi simulator. I have the link somewhere, but it's just just so you know, these are just easy things you can just you probably just Google that. But I mean, once you know that it exists, you can Google and find it. All right. But yeah, I'm still looking for that other one. So yeah, so here you go. Again, so I'll share this as well as part of the resource. So here again, there's a Raspberry Pi. There's a BME 280 sensor, temperature, pressure, temperature, humidity. There's an LED as well, and then you can write your code. But this is more geared towards running and deploying and pushing this to Azure IoT if you want to do device to cloud or cloud to device communication. So Dara and all that, all those that are watching, there's also another tool, all right, that you can use, all right. Let's see. It's crazy that I'm trying to. I don't know, because I used it before. Anyway, yes, we're talking about the Arduino anyway. But once I remember, I'll bring it back. All right. So check this out. So updates are available on some of the libraries. Oh yeah, I can install the library. So take a look at this. Your output here. You have a serial plotter, and then you have your serial monitor here. Pretty much sketch. But if you look at it, you have line numbers. You have you can the folder to open the files, Explorer for the your code. Then you have your board manager, all right, on this side, so you can easily go here and install the boards you want to support. Then you have your library manager here, where you can search, and then you can see you can debug, so you can put the breakpoints in your code and debug and test them. So these were not immediately available in the initial Arduino ID, but 2.0, yes, it has that. So go check that out, download it, play around with it, and have fun with it. But for me, one of the coolest IDs, or I would say IDs, but in integrations or extensions that I use is platform.io, integrated into Visual Studio Code, right? Awesome framework. Allows you to, it's pretty much the comprehensive package for any firmware developer. All right. The debugging, the building, the source coding, the auto complete, the library import is amazing. Let me see if I can. What was the last one that I did? Actually, you know what? Let me just do a new window. Let's go back to the dashboard. Yeah, so keep the questions coming. We have 40. So in the next 20 minutes, I'll take you to the bench, and then I would show you how do you call it? Let's see. Yes. All right. So here, I'll just go here on the left side. It's an extension. So if you have Visual Studio Code, open Visual Studio Code and go ahead In the extensions area, as you can see, I have a bunch of extensions, so forgive me. So in the extensions area, you can go in there and then just type platform.io, and then you pop up an extension and look for the official one, okay, not any third party installations of it, right? I think mine is already installed, or you can just do platform. And where is that? Where is that? Where is that? Mine is already installed. Yeah, there you go. So you see platform IO IDE, and it has the head of an ant in there. So you just click install, and once you install, it's going to be part. So let me show you this. So this is it. This is how it looks like. Okay, this is your. I see this as the ultimate modding firmware developers, tool you need in your tool belt, right? Crazy, supports a lot of things. So once you install that, I can go here, and then if you're using it, also look for auto build, but don't stress yourself with that. I mean, if you're doing 3D stuff, but we can just click here to open. Where is platform.io? Where is platform.io? It's loading. Hurry up. Or easily, if it's installed, you can click on it here, and then it should have an open somewhere. I think my Visual Studio is still, right? My Visual Studio code is still loading. So let me give it some time. I can see it's running. It's running here, right? So yeah. So once you open it, a lot of things, extensions, libraries. It even allows you to set library paths, so you can use your Arduino IDE library path if you already have, but they will tell you they recommend using their paths, so you can always import fresh files. And it's awesome. The code completion, the color coding and all that. It makes you feel like a very, like a modding firmware developer without stress. Okay. So that's the other thing I wanted to talk about as well. Yep. So I've talked about giveaway, and then now today we'll just be talking about stuff on the bench. And then if you have any questions you pop up, I will try to I'll try to answer those. Okay, so let's just put this in the background whilst that's loading. All right, awesome. So now let's go to the bench. Let me show you something. Yeah, today I should have aligned this. There you go. Awesome. So I have here, actually, let me bring this in view. I have here 3. Let's put this other kits and sensors on this side. Okay. All right. So this is what I want to be talking about today. I want to talk about proximity switches, or you want to call them proximity sensors. All right. There are 3 different types here. Let me go ahead. This is not open, as you can see. Let's open that. Let's open this. And then let's open this. All right. 3 distinct. These are all, you know what? Let's just put this here. There we go. There we go. There we go. I said in the past that I wasn't going to do advert for anyone, but hey, yes. All right. So 3 distinct proximity switches or proximity sensors, anyhow you want to call them. All right. These are 3 distinct ones. All right. They fall in different categories. All right. They fall in the different categories, and I want to go ahead and explain, all right, what type of proximity sensor or switch they are, what they do, and all that. Okay, so let's start with this one. All right, this one that you're seeing here. Now, most of the times they take on this usual color coding, all right, and they all work with different principles. Okay, now one good thing about proximity sensors or proximity switches is that they are contactless. So they tend to have a long lifespan. So installing proximity sensors, because they don't come in contact when they are working, they tend to last long and pretty much function for a longer period. All right. That's one common trait amongst all the proximity switches or sensors. All right. This one. Now let's start with this particular one, this blue one. Now mostly, I'm saying mostly, okay, but the tip could be of a different color, but mostly they take on the blue color. Now this is an inductive proximity sensor, okay. Inductive proximity sensor in the sense that it is useful in detecting metallic objects. All right, metallic object. So most times, let's say on an assembly plant or some conveyor belt system, and you want to be able to determine, let's say, when a can or a metallic object is in close proximity with it. All right. So it works under the electrical principle of induction, okay, or inductance, whichever you might call it. So the electromagnetic force that it generates anytime there is a metal that actually interferes, all right, or there's a fluctuation in that current, and therefore it knows that there is a metallic object, in close proximity. Now it can be adjusted. Now they come in different varying lengths, and then depending on how close or far it is, the range or values differ. But if you look behind it, there is a small light there that always goes off when it detects a metal. I wish I could have just hooked this up to some power and signal so that we could check this out. But if I just hook this up, to power and signal, and I put a metal thing, then you see that the light would come on. Even though I'm not using, so if you look at it, it has the ground, the power, and the volt and then the signal. All right, the signal cable. So quite simple. So if you're building any system and you want to be able to detect if there's a metallic object on, let's say, in a conveyor or in a system, you can use what we call the inductive proximity sensor switch. All right. So that is the first one. And yeah, I'm open to any questions on what some of the use cases. Like I said, on a factory line. So let's say in a factory line where there are robotic arms, and a robotic arm needs to know when a can is available to be picked up. So as soon as the can gets here, it will go off, and that can be a trigger or a switch to another, maybe a motor or something. All right. Or let's say you are building a system that detects metals or cans. All right. As soon as you put a metallic object on the conveyor belt, once this senses it, it will automatically just trigger the motor to make the conveyor belt to run. All right. So that is the inductive proximity sensor that works with the principle of electrical inductance. All right. So metallic, useful for detecting metallic objects. Okay. So that aside, the second one you're seeing here, up here, is what we call the optical proximity sensor. Okay, so you see that it looks like there are some two, all right, optical proximity sensor. Now, from the name, you can infer that this uses light source. Okay, so if you look at it, there are two kind of side to it. So there is one side that pretty much throws a light beam, all right. And then, so assuming I have this in front of it, now one of it would throw a light beam, all right, and then because it hits this, it will reflect it, and the other one will detect if that, will detect when that beam is reflected back into it, all right. So uses a light source and a sensor to detect, the light. Now, this object this allows you to detect objects that are directly in front of it. All right. Now, one of the downside is that it doesn't function too well with, transparent stuff. So you probably will have like solid opaque stuff and it's able to detect it. All right. And so this again is also, good for like building, let's say this can detect technically anything so far as it's a solid object in front of it. So imagine doing something like a smart hand wash system or a smart faucet or a smart dispensing system. All right. As soon as it detects that there's something in close proximity, that switch can activate whatever item it controls. All right. So that is the optical proximity sensor. Now, the third one here, this one that you're seeing, also mostly has a yellow color coding. Sometimes it's gray, but like I said, mostly, but that's not always. You can find one that is red, blue, green, and it's still this type of proximity sensor. Now, this one is what we call the capacitive proximity sensor or capacitance proximity sensor. All right. Now, this can detect both metallic and non-metallic targets. Okay. Both metallic and non-metallic. It even goes further to even detect, can be able to detect powder, granulate, liquid, and solids. Aaron, could you mention the range of the sensor as well? Yeah, sure. So I'll come to the ranges as well. So this is able to, detect metallic and non-metallic objects, and even further to water, granulate, and stuff like that. Okay. Now, so this uses what we call variance in the capacitance of the, to sense, okay, to determine whether an object is determined or not, okay, the variance in the capacitance, okay, so depending on, so definitely it will be able to sense a metal, but it will have a different capacitance reading, all right, and it will be able to sense a non-metal with a different capacitance reading. Is that okay? So this can be used if you have a scenario where you want to be able to detect on your conveyor or your factory line or your solution the ability to detect either something is there, whether it is metal or non-metal, a liquid or granulate. This is what to use. You want to use a capacitive or capacitance proximity sensor. All right. And good question, Aaron. So one of the things that you need to look out for when it comes to all these proximity sensors, all right, most of the manufacturers have their own data sheet for it, but one thing to look out for is, you see this tag, depending on how you're doing the installation, all right. So technically the active side of it is this side for most of the sensors, especially the inductive and then the capacitance one, all right, is this side. So if you are doing an installation, sometimes we call flash installation, whereby, so let's say that I'm trying to close this up to show you something. So let's say I'm doing installation and this is directly behind the conveyor belt. It is not protruding, all right, because it's not protruding and it's directly on the top. The detection distance, can be higher, but the more it protrudes out, then you are reducing your detection distance. Let me see if I can find the data sheet for this one, for all these ones, and share. Now, even though they operate on a common principle, every manufacturer has their own data sheet for it. Let me look for the data sheet and then share with you on this one. Now, the other thing you also have to be mindful for when you're dealing with some of these proximity sensors is what they say, whether it is normally open or normally closed. Hey, Edwins, do I need a science background to get into IoT? Well, when you say science, science is broad, all right? But I can assure you that you don't have to be a science geek or science guru to be able to do IoT. Okay, I didn't have any background in electrical or electronics. All right, I came from a strict computer science background, and then I just fell in love with it. And a lot of these things I'm learning on the fly. Even though I did physics in school, it is when I started doing IoT that I started appreciating some of these things: current, inductance, Hall, mass what is this Hall effect, all these that I began to understand and appreciate the things we were being taught. But you don't necessarily need to be good in science to get started. They're very simple process, and as you grow or mature in it, you get to develop love and appreciation for it, and you learn to understand some of these things. So looking at, okay, so I think if we look closely at this, I need to get a good camera that can easily. So Aaron, if you look at this is NPN, and then this is 8 millimeters. Okay, active range is 8 millimeters. Let's look at this one as well. So I think that is normally, let's see, I think that's normally open. No, let me be sure of this one. So this is okay, so I think this is normally closed. Yes, this is normally closed. And usually when you're dealing with relays, relays and sensors and stuff like that, some are normally open and some are normally closed, which means in the normal state of it, the circuit is closed. So like normally closed, what means once it's connected, it's closed. So the loop is your circuit loop is running. And normally open means the loop is open. You'd have to trigger, you have to send signal to it for it to work. This one, let's see. So this I think is 4 millimeters. I'm not sure, but I think that's what I see on the side. I could be wrong, but again, I'll check. I'll verify from the how do you call it, from the data sheet. Now, once you get into IoT, one of the things that you should be very mindful of, let's see. So there's two-way NPM. I'm trying to find the active range on this one. Okay, so this one, from what it has on it, is 3 to 80 centimeters. All right, so this is, I don't know if you can, let me see if I can, if I can do this and bring this in scope. I'm not sure you see it, but yeah, there you go, 3 to 80 centimeters. So this has an active range of between 3 to 80 centimeters to do this, to use this. All right, so yeah, so like I was saying, once you start actively getting involved or doing IoT stuff, you get to appreciate, and you need to understand that anytime you buy or get a sensor, okay, any form of sensor, try to read or understand the data sheet, because the data sheet has all the information you need on the power you need to supply to it. That's what that's a rookie mistake a lot of people do when they end up messing up a lot of their sensors. Now, these are not just the only two proximity sensors. There are let's see, I think I have two here I can share. Yes. So this is a very common one. So this one here is the ultrasonic proximity sensor, which uses the principle of sound. It's almost like this optical one, in the sense that this also has one of its side sending a sound signal and waiting for kind of like a reflection or refracting. Okay, no, I think it's reflection. So if it hits an object, the sound that comes back, the other pair will calculate and say, okay, well, I've been able to, something has blocked the signal at this range. So sometimes it can even be used to calculate distance as well. But this also can be able to determine if something is in close proximity with it by using the principle of sound. All right. And then this is also another version of the optical one. This is a more common one, which you would see. Also an optical proximity sensor. So just works in the range of this. But you see, one thing about this is some of these sensors, some of them are affected by UV rays. So if you're using it in an application that is outside, it might not function well. And maybe some of these ones might be the best one because they are in an enclosure that is coated against UV rays, so it doesn't give you false reading. So you need to make sure that you are pretty much sure of the scenario you want to use it in, and for which you need to provide, you choose the right sensor. Okay, there's another one called the magnetic proximity sensor, and obviously, just like the name implies, magnetic, which works on the principle of magnet. So one side is magnetically active, and then if it detects the presence of another magnet, it pretty much says so. If you're building an application that requires detecting or picking up magnetic signals, that would be your best bet to use. All right. So yeah, awesome. Yeah, they say time flies when you're having fun. Let's see the last thing I wanted to share with you we run. Before we run, so that would be. There you go. So actually, let me share the platform.io with you. So you see that now that my Visual Studio Code is loaded, I select platform.io and then I do open or just go to home. Okay, there you go. And you can see this. The devices, the library, the configuration, you can do debugging, you can, and see it has support for almost the recent boards and stuff like that. And the cool thing is that it also picks up a lot of how do you call it? It picks up a lot of content coming out from other useful websites. Yeah. Can I drop my idea in the comment section? Yes, Dara. I mean, once you've subscribed, just go ahead and drop your idea in the comment section for me. I would review it, and the top 5 people, I'll send you a free kit. It will either be this one, which is the Arduino Maker Wi-Fi, so that you can connect to a cloud, either Arduino, either Azure or Cubitro, and then I'll probably send you also I don't have that one here, but it is a Seed Studio kit. It's a Seed Studio starter kit. It has a bunch of sensors in it that you can use, to get started once it's Arduino based. All right. So yeah, just do that, and yeah, encourage your friends to also join us. And if you really want to get this going, if there's no IoT community in where you are, think about starting one. All right, just it could be once a month. You guys meet to talk about IoT, build something, and then by the time you'd have grown and you'd have sought that you'd have been recognized by one of these companies, say Studio and all that, and they'll probably send you some kits to do stuff. But don't forget, go to hackstar.io, look at any of the competitions, submit your idea. You might be picked and you get a free kit as well. All right. So yeah, so like you can see, project, libraries, and look at this. A lot of libraries. All right. The boards. See, if there is no major board that is not supported by platform.io. So at some point I'm going to officially transition, right? I'm going to officially transition from Arduino, even the 2.0. So I'll probably be using them in the mix. If I'm doing a show or something, I might use it. But if I'm doing my firmware development on the real, this is what I use to do that. All right. Awesome. This is all time will permit us for today. I hope this has been educative. I hope it's been inspiring. I hope it's been motivational. So if you want to see us do this, keep pushing, send your ideas, let's chat, let's keep in touch, and then let's move on. Now, I also mentioned that this session was not just that ask me anything. It was also an opportunity for us to talk about what to expect in from next month, since this is the end of 1 month. So beginning next month is all going to be project based. This month and the month before was dedicated to unboxing, unwrapping a lot of kits, C Studio Shayo and a lot of stuff. All right. But in the thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that, Dara. In the next month and the ones ahead, it's all going to be project based. So we're going to announce the project we're going to be starting with next week, and then we'll start building the bits and pieces of it. So there's going to be a series. So maybe within the month, every episode will be this part of the project, and then at the end of it, we'll see how all the episodes come together to form a project. All right. So I would reveal what project we're starting with next week, and then we'll get started with that. All right. So that is what to expect. So going forward, yeah, there's going to be unboxing once the kits come. I'm expecting a couple more kits. So once they come in, I'll unbox them, I'll share them. But then this is going to be project based. Now, some of the projects will include 3D printing, as you can see behind me. And I also shared that journey when we get to that point. So 3D print component cases, and then, we'll put them prototype build and, do stuff like that. I can also tell you that there's going to be a lot of LoRaWAN stuff happening in the coming months. So a lot of the projects we're building would also be running on LoRaWAN as well. And there's going to be a lot of cloud connectivity. So it's an opportunity to share, to learn. Join us. Let's build something fun. Let's have fun as well. So this is where I leave you for today's episode. Thank you for making time with me. Like I always say, go out there and make the world a better place. Let's share peace. Let's make peace and not war. Till I meet you again next week. This has been yours truly, Sam Ladrani, and I am out.